Sorry here. Welcome back to Nick Landis Comic Corner Classics. This episode number 2156, Doubleshot number 2050. Wow, 2050 for a Doubleshot. That's interesting. Alright, this one we're discussing two Marvel trades, which they have a bit of a sci-fi element to them. First up we have is Bounty Hunters Volume 5 Raid on the Vermillion. Yeah, this actually is the first trade I didn't, purchase. From Barnes & Noble. They actually didn't have this one, so I figured the library had it, so I decided to get it anyways. Would I get it? No, because I've already reviewed it already. So this one is collecting issues 23 to 28 of Bounty Hunters. Mostly put in these issues is Valkyries, who's still working for Vader. And mostly put, he just hunts after the Crimson Dawn. Bosk is in here. And, of course, Dogma is in here, too. And he's also referred to as, he's also a few times, in case you're curious, this is his face, and like this, like on the cover, a couple times, because mostly put, he just gets his face fixed next to the Imperial Navy surgery section. Yep. Pretty fun book. I love it. I still think this is probably, in my opinion, it's up there as it's basically the tie for like the best Star Wars books right now, because this one, Star Wars, and Vader. Those books are awesome. That's one I give a 9 out of 10. Alright, next up is going to be The New Mutants, Epic Collection, Volume 6. Oh, fun fact. There actually is this Volume 7, Volume 8. But in the case of volumes released, there's only about 2 more to be released because 4 has not been released yet. And it's not even been announced and released yet. But this book contains Exterminators 1 through 4, along with New Mutants 71, 75. The Exterminators book, along with issue 71 and 72 of New Mutants, is part of Inferno. Yep, that's simple what it is. And then right afterwards, we deal with stuff like Magneto, where he's tied with the Hellfire Club, where he's also the White King. And of course, then we deal with the Valkyrie stuff. We also deal with Freedom Force, the Asgardians. Now, also, right after all these issues wrap up, like with the very next issue after where this leaves off with, Rob Liefeld takes over the book. He mentioned in his podcast he was not a fan of the costumes they were at this point in time. He thought they were a bit out of date. He thought they were about 5 or 6 years out of date from the wear these costumes. But yeah, they wore these outfits. And according to the story, Bet Brivens is actually one of the artists in here. He was wrapping up a very short run for New Mutants as the artist, so he came on as replaced as an artist, and he stayed as the main artist with the exception of one issue, mostly for the last 15 issues of his run. But in case the writer of the issues mostly put is Louise Simonson and Chris Claremont, with John Bunny, Bivens obviously, John Byrne, Terry Shoemaker, Rich Buckler, Rick Lenardi, who actually was the artist to precede Brad Bivens, Lewis Williams, and Jeff Isherwood. Yep. Exterminators. This was a 4-issue. Now, the whole group itself was a group that first showed up in the pages of X Factor. And here's a fun fact for you. Did you know Marvel brought this series back recently? Yes, they did. And it lasted for a total of, wait for it, 5 issues before it got canceled. And was limited series? Didn't say in this list. I think it was supposed to be ongoing, but got canceled probably due to low sales. Yeah, that's the problem with Marvel nowadays. It's like, a book gets canceled to 5 issues, or even not even 12, because some people think nowadays that Marvel only publishes maxi series, and lucky enough they last more than a year. Yeah, that's basically what happened with them. But the Asgardian stuff, that doesn't start from issue like 76, I think it was. 75. Now, basically, with these early issues here. Now, Warlock is here in these issues here, too. There's the whole stuff with the Inferno tie-in stuff in here. That's mostly put in a way. The whole thing with this one with 6 issues, 71, 73, I thought basically 72 was the finale for this one. They say it's a 73 conclusion of the Iliana saga. Mostly put it's the end of the Inferno stuff. and then immediately right after the Inferno wraps up. Oh, by the way, here are your costumes for the New Mutants, which Liefeld was not a fan of these costumes. I think I like the colors, but I agree with him. Basically, they're not good looking costumes. So then, for some reason, I do not know why this is. Oh, hi, babe. Yeah, Madeline Pryor, the clone of Jean Grey. Yep. So for the next few issues, for some reason, ex-Terminators had become a guest star and basically became supporting characters in New Mutants book. Yeah, for some reason, it was like this. Deal with the aftermath. So, by the way, in case you're curious, though, for issue 71, who was the artist 71? That was Brett Biffins. Mm-hmm. They also, in a way, wrapped up Magneto's time with New Mutants as well. Yep, he is gone pretty much by the end of 75. Yeah, 74, 75 is a conclusion to Magneto's time with them. And for the rest of this run, it's like, oh, let's have an issue where we go to Atlantis. And look, here's Cannonball's costume. And you can definitely see that, yeah, this costume has been out of date. It's a good thing you got a much better costume when Liefeld took over. Yeah, so mostly putting these issues with Magneto gone, it's like, what's really the point of the mutants? They're just basically just doing stuff. Yep, they do stuff for issue 77, 76, and 77. They get involved with the Asgardians. Yep, Rich Buckler do an issue here. We also have guest appearances here by Doctor Strange. Yes, they pay a visit to Doctor Strange because, well, the whole thing with the Pegasus shows up. So, yeah, pretty much a remainder of this book is basically dealt with it's the Asgardian stuff for this book. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's mostly what the main issues are from issue 78 to pretty much like the last issue. 78 to 80, it's all about the Asgardians. 81 is simply put basically an issue where you have Hercules, I got Magma. Yep. For a quick standalone issue. Nothing to do with the Asgardians this one. And then it's like that was like a stand-in. And we're right back to the whole stuff with the Asgardians. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like one issue of that, and then right back to the whole thing with the New Mutants and Asgard, which I think is a fun saga. Mm-hmm. Then by 85, this is all pretty much wrapped up. Actually, no, but 83, they kind of wrap it up. And then we have stuff with the Acts of Vengeance. Yes. Acts of Vengeance, in case you forgot what this is the event where the villains swap heroes. Like having Magneto fight Spider-Man. Hela is a third villain, so having Hela fight her makes kind of sense. Also, this event, fun fact, it actually had a debut of the New Warriors, which they got an ongoing series just a couple years later. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seemed like the last couple issues did with the Acts of Vengeance, and then immediately afterwards, Liefeld takes over the book. Now, this book is just really good. I do enjoy the writing here by Louise Simonson. I think it's really good. Do I think there's anything wrong with the book? Not really. No, the artwork is still pretty good. Excuse me. It's going to be quite interesting to discuss the Rob Liefeld stuff. I kind of discussed it once before, but I really want to discuss these epic collections. So, in case you're curious, I do have Volume 2 on the way, and Volume 2 is the Demon Bear Saga, which that next volume closes from issues 13 to 31. And I do also have on order, I do have on a list, basically the two trades that come after this one. Cable and the End of the Beginning, which everyone's looking forward to discussing those. And with this, basically, I reviewed most, I would not say all the New Mutants stuff so far. I would love to put the Mutants volume behind me, which means that the only volumes to discuss is basically volume 2 and the current stuff. Yep. But yeah, that's particularly a particular view. Next up is going to be review for Black Clover. And then it's on to Trigon Stampede. Okay, next view. Bye.